Hi everyone, this is Eva from Soul GPS. Today I'm coming to you from beautiful Cyprus. It is so nice to be in the sunshine with some beautiful sea behind us. The Mediterranean is lapping behind in waves. It's a beautiful day and I'm here with my really good friend Eddie Toth. Woo, just got a spray here.
Very nice.
And I'm going to tell you about who Eddie is in a moment, but just real quick wanted to set an intention for this video because it's a bit of a one-off, and we just wanted to bring you a ray of sunshine as you're in your healing process, as you are going through whatever it is you might be going through at this moment, at this time, healing from abuse, healing from your trauma, going deep within. And we just want to give you a big thumbs up on being on this process, working on yourself, finding your truth, and really hopefully coming to the realization that there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. And Eddie is my dear friend from Australia, and he's going to talk to you today about self-worth and self-esteem. He has his own channel on YouTube. It's pretty young, so we want to give him some good love and support.
Thank you so much.
And I'm going to put the link to his video down below in the information section below this video. So Eddie has been a real ray of sunshine in my life personally. He has one of the most cheerful attitudes ever. I mean, this guy is always happy. But as we have talked quite a bit on this trip together, we always slide into these really deep topics. And I discovered some new things about my friend that I didn't know about before, which is that he too has gone through some really difficult times in his own life. And it's not that, you know, he was born this way and is always happy and positive, but it's that he does work on it on a daily basis. And so he's going to give you some tips on how to raise your vibration, raise your sense of joy, your self-esteem, and especially self-worth. And before I pass the mic over, my little mic here, I just want to give you a tiny little bit more of a background of how we met.
Yes.
We met in Santorini, was it 4 years ago? No, or 5 years?
It would have been 4 to 5 years ago, and I saw you and I said hello. I was just very friendly.
It was so random.
Yeah.
I remember I needed a pedicure so bad, and I was just walking. I just landed in Santorini. I didn't know where anything was. I was just walking, and suddenly towards me runs this kid, and he's like, I just had this feeling like I needed to meet you. And I'm like,
Yeah, and I said hello. I was just very friendly, and I remember you were saying that you were writing a book, and there was maybe a role of an Australian character in there.
Yes.
And we just started talking more because I was very interested in novel writing, and we just hit it off.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And we've been friends since, and we usually meet in random places around the world. And in fact, 3 years ago, just about exactly 3 years ago, early November, we met in Bali for 10 days, and it was one of the most transformative 10 days of my life because it marked the beginning of me awakening to the fact that I've lived my life in kind of a fake way, and I wasn't doing what I loved, and I was surrounded with so much toxicity. And one of the first exercises that we did together was we looked at our highest values. And I remember I got my 3 values being freedom, truth, and love. And since that day, or since that little retreat we had together, I've gone on this journey of making those values really part of my life. And I had no idea what I was getting into because 4 months later, I saw how many toxic people were around me and how betrayal has been really a big part of my life. And I decided to take my life in my hands and stop taking it in and stop putting up with letting other people control me. And so I wanted to share that with you because I know that this may be something that you are yourself going through and struggling with. So as you go down into deconstructing your psyche and your inner architecture, you do have to remember one thing, which is that sometimes we can go too far in terms of questioning and doubting ourselves. And we have to remember what our true worth is. We have to know that our true worth comes from within. It's not about what you do for other people. It's not about how other people perceive you. It's all about who you are and the fact that you are alive. You are an animated being that's here on this planet with a purpose, with a mission. And if you've done anything, and I mean like the tiniest little bit, to help someone in your life, then your worth is that much bigger. But you didn't even have to do anything to have that sense of worth. So you need to understand that really deeply. But sometimes just understanding it and realizing it really deeply may not be enough, because if you don't have the regular practice of reminding yourself that that is the case, you may need some additional support. So now, with great honor and pride, I'm going to pass this little tiny Apple headphone mic to my friend Eddie, and he's going to give you some tips for what you can do to raise your sense of self-worth, your sense of self-esteem, as the two are quite intricately connected, so that you can thrive in life and really enjoy who you are and celebrate yourself. Not beat yourself up and pick yourself apart, but celebrate yourself for who you are. So without any more further ado, here's Eddie.
Perfect. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting me and having this conversation. And the first thing I would like to say is to define what self-worth is for me, in terms of it's a perception of how we view ourselves. And this, they say, is shaped by three things. Of course, how we think of ourselves, how other people think of us, but how we think that other people think about us.
So it comes back to us.
It pretty much comes back to us and our perception. And the first tip I would love to give is about getting rid of this negative talk. And there's a book I read before that really changed my life. It's called The 7-Day Mental Diet by Emmett Fox. And he challenges you for 7 days not to have any negative thoughts at all. So as soon as some negativity seeps in, whether it's someone cut you off in traffic, you just have to let it go as soon as possible. But then if you have that thought and you start to get angry for, say, over a minute, you have to actually start the challenge for 7 days again. So this is how I feel. First, you have to eliminate all the negative thoughts and just condition your mind to let go as soon as a thought comes in, because it will happen. Then you just have to let it go as soon as possible.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
So this morning I had this idea of when, because my negative thoughts and other things that I don't want to think about do come, and they will. I had this image of, you know how when you have a phone and you get notifications, you just kind of get this notification like swiped off your phone. As I did that, I just swiped it off my mind, and I said, I'll deal with it later, not right now. Or you can say, I let it go and I let the universe or some other higher power take it in their hands and resolve this. I am now going to focus on whatever it is I'm focused on.
And another analogy a friend told me was, imagine you're a dartboard, and then when the negative thoughts come, whether they're from someone else, you turn the dartboard so it can't hit you as good. So it's like, instead of the dartboard being like this, you turn it sideways. And you dodge them, pretty much.
It's like Aikido move. Something's coming at you, and you're just like, ooh, you just let it go past.
And just visualize dodging it and not letting it get to you.
Sounds good. So what's next?
So the next thing I would say is, after you've tried this challenge, I really recommend it, for 7 days, to just not have any negative thoughts.
Especially about yourself. Especially about yourself.
Then the next thing would be to give you some positive thoughts, some positivity. So they say positive affirmations are really good, and I prefer not just the affirmations, not just saying it, but being it. So you can say to yourself, what I like to say in the morning, I'm happy and healthy. But what really helps is when I visualize how I want to be, how I want to feel. And I don't just say, I am happy and healthy. No, I'm like, I'm happy and healthy. And I feel vibrant. I look in the mirror. It's so different. So not to just say things, but really feel them and be them. Imagine yourself like this. And even say to yourself in the mirror, just to see how your impression is. And even try this for 7 days. I think 7 days is a nice challenge, just so every morning you can get up and say something that really empowers you, makes you feel better. And another one I love to say is, be your best and the rest will manifest. Just because I love rhyming.
I love that one. Oh, and I want to add one more that I recently did that I found to be quite transformative. I took a lipstick and on my mirror, I wrote, I am enough, period. Just that. And I know it's really simple and we've all heard about this stuff, but it's like every time I look in the mirror now, I just smile. And I feel it's like a visceral feeling of contentment and peace and calm that comes over my body. And I think that that's how we cultivate it. That's how the body's nervous system really adapts to that way of thinking. And then when your body becomes that, then it's so much easier for your mind to feed you these subconscious positive thoughts, because subconscious mind, they say, is the body. It's all within ourselves.
And it all starts with what you think about, because if you never think about a certain action, you never think positively, you'll never take positive action to make a change in your life.
And that, I think, is the third tip, right, you were going to share, which is a very important tip for how to raise your self-esteem, because it is really important, especially for people who are empathic out there. Hello, right? We get extremely influenced by other people's energies and environment.
And that's what I would like to say. So, after you've got rid of these negative thoughts, instilled some positive thoughts and practice this, also be around positive people, a positive environment. So the people around you really affect how you think and feel. And for me, even your environment in terms of being with nature once in a while, not being in a busy city, because when I'm in a busy city or in traffic, I can feel this after a while. So it's really important to be in a positive environment where you feel good about yourself. Like this, warm weather by the sea, it's a wonderful place, and I feel so happy and vibrant here.
Yeah, it definitely makes a big difference. But, for some of you, it might not be as easily accessible to just jump on a plane and go somewhere else. And I wanted to share a new discovery, actually, that I have come into on this trip, and that is I've been spending quite a bit of time in Poland recently, and it's cold and rainy now, and I'm much more tempted to eat heavier, warm foods. And I noticed that it really affects me a lot. And I always come to this realization after I do this experiment, which is I start to drink more fresh juices, especially citrus juices, because it's like that's how you can take the environment of sun, right, which is like sun-ripened citrus. It's like sunshine in a liquid form.
Yeah.
And so I've been drinking that every day since we came here, and I'm feeling such a big difference. Of course, the environment helps, but I remember doing that in other environments where I wasn't, in sunshine and beautiful weather all the time, and it just infused my cells with so much more vitality and joy from the juice. So if you are in a dark environment, in a cold environment right now, that's something also that you can try. And one more important tip, something I've been actually thinking about and discussing a lot with my clients lately, it seems to be an important topic, is people are suffering a lot at work and they're not enjoying what they do. They're not enjoying the people they're surrounded by. There's a lot of toxicity, a lot of competition, and it can be quite daunting for people who are sensitive, and especially to their environment, and have this tendency to absorb other people's energy. And I just want to give you words of encouragement here from both of us, actually, because Eddie is doing the same thing. He just quit his job at a corporation and is exploring doing more of his other work. And he's a PhD. He just got his doctorate. So congratulations, the guy is amazing.
In maths and statistics, something completely different, but I love this psychology and I live this. So.
Yeah. So it's like you don't have to. This is your life. You can do with it whatever you want to do. And if you've been thinking about leaving your environment, which is not making you happy, and making a shift, a change, make sure you get clear about what it is you'd like to manifest. Make sure you spend some time thinking about it, making a plan for yourself, breaking it down into small steps so it's manageable, and know that you can do it. I did it. Eddie's done it. And if we can do it, you can do it too. So make sure your environment is good, both on the outside as well as the inside, especially the inside. The thoughts are key to get rid of this abuser voice from your head that keeps beating you up, keeps infusing your mind with doubt, you do not need it. Listen, it is not going to make your life any easier. You may think it will, but it won't. It's the super ego that's been hijacked, and it just keeps on beating you down into submission. But you need to realize at some point that at this point it's you who's doing it, and you do have the power to change it. So that is my wish for you. And anything else? Any final thoughts we want to add to our video?
For me, it's this aspect of being yourself, but also knowing yourself. Because how can you be yourself if you don't know it? So for me, a lot of the times we get judged by other people, and we act in a certain way to how other people would like to act. But sometimes, because I dance on the side as well, I love dancing. I will dance in public. People will look at me. People will watch me. And at the start, I care a little. But then after a while, when I practice this and I just move my body, I just feel good because I just wanted to dance. And this is how it is. If you really want to do something, don't be perturbed or influenced by other people saying that you can't do it or you're not good enough to do it.
Because you are good enough. And listen, no one's going to care tomorrow anyway. If you go out there and make a goof out of yourself on the street, you may make somebody smile, but all those grumpy ones who walk by you and judge you, they're probably very jealous that you are so confident and free that you're able to do it. I remember when you told me about this, that you were doing breakdance practice at the airport, and I just about fell off my chair. I'm like, this guy is amazing. So what I did is I put on headphones and I went downtown to my city, and I started dancing on the sidewalk. It felt so awkward, but it was like pushing through a boundary.
It's uplifting.
Yeah.
It's like at the start you're like, people watching, but then you get into it, adrenaline starts pumping, you're feeling the music, and you just move however you want to move.
Yeah.
And that's how life should be. You move how you want to move. Be how you want to be.
Be you. Be you.
Exactly right.
Don't worry about what other people think about you. Don't become a copy of somebody else, whether it is your parent, your sibling, your coworker. Find what works for you. Let it well up from within. Stop judging yourself. Start celebrating yourself, and all will be well. So we're sending you lots of love and sunshine from Cyprus. Big kisses, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.